What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about, movies and video games and comic books and TV shows. And right now, I'd like to give you guys my review of the Disney Plus. Now it's the Disney Plus original movie, Soul. And Soul obviously has been getting a lot of hype and a lot of press lately because it is a Pixar movie and it was supposed to go straight to theaters, but Disney decided not to. They decided to drop it straight to Disney Plus on Christmas Day, and they did it with a lot of hype, and they also did it with a lot of fanfare from the fans because it did not include the premium access that Mulan had. And as you probably know, a lot of people just waited on Mulan the few months because they didn't want to pay that premium access. I'm one of them. And it was nice that we got a little Christmas present from Disney Plus by dropping Soul right onto Disney Plus without the premium access on Christmas Day. So what was my thoughts on the movie? Well, I'm going to have an unpopular opinion because the reviews that I've been reading, everybody's loved it. People have been calling it a masterpiece. People have been calling it, Pixar's best ever. I actually read a review that somebody put online where he said that it literally changed his life. It changed his entire perspective of living. And it didn't do any of those things for me. It just didn't. So it wasn't a bad movie. It really wasn't. It wasn't horrible. I was bored for most of it. Honestly, the first half of the movie, I was bored. I kept checking. Honestly, it's a bad sign when you keep on grabbing your Roku remote and you keep pressing pause just to see how much time is left. That's a bad sign. And I did that a few times in the first half an hour or the first half of the movie because it was just moving so slowly and I was so disinterested in what was happening. That's an absolute truth. I was completely disinterested. Now, the second half of the movie, it really picked up. It really, when they finally... the second half of the movie, him and the other the other protagonist, a yet to be born soul called 22, they end up on Earth because, as you know, as we've seen in the trailers, this guy who's voiced by Jamie Foxx, he's getting ready to get his big music break, and right when he gets that big music break, he falls into a manhole, and his soul ends up in the great before. It doesn't end up in the great beyond. It ends up, which that is explored, by the way. That's explored extensively, but it does not end up in the great beyond. It ends up in the great before. And there he kind of stumbles his way into becoming a mentor for a new soul that's going to be inhabiting a body on Earth. And the first half of the movie, like I said, when they're kind of explaining the mechanics of the movie and how it works and what the rules are and what the different stations are and the training methods and the mentoring method, when they're discussing all this, I was just completely beside myself with boredom. And I know. I'm going to be one of the only people who puts a review online who says that, but I was absolutely bored by it. And I was close to turning it off halfway through. Absolutely I was. But I stuck it through. I stuck it out because it's Pixar, and Pixar does do a good job of injecting a lot of heart and a lot of meaning into their movies. Now, sometimes I think that they go a little bit overboard with it, to be honest with you. What happened to the days of Cars? What happened to the days of Monsters, Inc.? What happened to the days of Toy Story, right? Why can't Pixar tell stories like that anymore? Everything has to be really melodramatic or metaphysical, Inside Out. Come on. I can't watch Inside Out anymore. It doesn't work for me. And Soul is kind of one of those movies that didn't work for me, especially the first half. I just didn't find the storytelling to be compelling. I didn't find the world they set up to be compelling. The only thing that I found to be very compelling was the message. The message of this movie was beautiful, and they did a great job of conveying that message. And once they got, and this is a minor spoiler, but once they got back to Earth, Jamie Foxx's character and the kind of the co-star, this soul name that called 22, once they get to Earth and One of them inhabits his body, the other one inhabits another body. Once they get there, it picks up some and it becomes a little bit more entertaining, and they start really exploring what the meaning behind the movie is. Because initially you have this idea that the movie is going to mean that it's going to be about, that the movie's going to be about, chasing your dreams and accomplishing what you want to accomplish, but that's not really what it's about. And the movie's not really even about, I've seen some people write online that the movie's about finding your purpose, and that's not really what it's about either. It's not. The movie's more about just living, right? Living every day. And I mean, I guess it depends on the lens that you watch it through. I guess you could watch it through the lens that says you gotta chase your dreams. I guess you could watch it through the lens that says that it's about finding your purpose in life. But the way that I saw it was just about living every day. We might have we might have dozens, if not hundreds of purposes throughout the course of our life. So you have to live that life. You have to live that life to find your purposes. And I really enjoyed that take on, I enjoyed the message of the movie. I appreciated the message of the movie. The message of the movie resonated with me. It did. I just didn't, I didn't like the movie. And I think a lot of people, I think the vast majority of people out there who review this movie and like it, I think they legitimately liked it. I do. I think they legitimately liked it. I think some people out there are giving it a positive review because the message resonated with them so well. And I can't give the movie a passing grade. I can't, because I was so bored by it. I was so bored by it. Up until the last half, I was just bored. So the message was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, and the message was a poignant one that, honestly, it was a message I needed to be reminded about. I've been at a point in my life where I've been wrestling with some purpose ideas. Is my purpose to coach? Is my purpose just being a dad or being a husband, or is my purpose to teach? What is my purpose? And I think that it's okay for all those things to be my purpose. And I think it's okay to accept that and to live my life and understand that, hey, guess what? 3 years from now, I might have a new purpose in my life. And that's okay too. So the message resonated with me. It just was boring. It was a boring movie. And it would have resonated much better had the movie been interesting. I just didn't find any of the characters to be interesting at all. And I didn't find the world that they built to be interesting. Now, this is wholly subjective, It's wholly subjective. And trust me, from what I've read in the reviews, I am in the minority on this. It just didn't work for me. But that's all. It probably, if you're watching this, it probably worked for you, and I think that's fantastic. So I want to find out in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of Soul. I would love to hear your take on it, and it's okay if we disagree. We probably will. But for me, I'm going to give Soul just a C. I give it a solid C. It was a movie that I needed to watch. It was a message I needed to hear. But man, was it boring to get there. And that's okay. I've sat through church and I've listened to a lot of sermons that I had to hear that bored me to tears. So this is just one of those movies where the movie said something I needed to hear. But man, it was hard getting through some of it. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you thought of Soul in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.